Usually when games are talked about, it's because people are excited for them and hopeful, thinking, wow, this is going to be a great title and I can't wait to swipe my credit card and support it. But a few every single year stand out for less than positive reasons, and Dustborn, a game that is finally launching soon, where words are your weapons, has been blowing up because of how cringeworthy it is. And I did some digging on the game through interviews where creatives on the project said it was inspired by a series of political events that begun in 2016. I have a few different things to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content that I create, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media so you can see when my content is posted, and of course, if you do really enjoy the videos and live streams I create, consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon or a supporter via YouTube memberships. Now, I did previously talk about this video game. I did in another video. It'll be linked down below. But basically, they announced this game's upcoming release at Gamescom. It was a trailer right towards the end of the show, I think, when most people were already starting to tune out. They were getting a little bit bored with the, mediocre announcements. But they decided to throw this trailer in. And I have learned a lot about this game over the past few days because I put up that initial video and I, like many other people, think that it looks absurd. But I found out a lot more information about this game, so if you have not seen my previous video, let me just play the first line of dialogue, what they think is gonna bring consumers and what they think people want to hear and see in their video games.
In a world divided by disinformation.
In a world divided by disinformation, justice for all, in all bold letters. This game consists of 4 individuals who seem so angry with their lives. I mean, if you even look at when they're sitting in the car, you've got the man in the back seat because, the women should be the highlight. You've got ultra diversity here. You've got those super bright colors like the Saints Row reboot, and throughout the trailer, they highlight how terrible the world is, how nothing is right, nothing is good, everything sucks for everyone, and you basically want to change the world. And the gameplay is focused on words because words can be weapons, as if that's gonna appeal to anyone. And the gameplay itself with the words concept, that's actually not too bad, but the issue is everything else surrounding this. And I actually found out that in 2020, when they kind of started doing interviews for this title, it had already been in the works for 3 years. So this game that looks like a pile of trash has had a 7-year development cycle. I mean, this game looks like it could have been made in 2 to 3 years max. I know games take a long time, but this looks nothing like a title that I'd expect them to be working on for 7 freaking years. And this game is like the physical manifestation of the ideas of identity politics, DEI initiatives, and feminism crammed together and jammed into a game. I was starting to cover games back in 2020, and I cannot believe the articles I missed about this title. It is an indie game, and the headlines are so bold. As you can see, this is the first one I wanted to start off with. VG 24/7, fascism, propaganda, and weaponized disinformation. Dustborn is shaping up to be a war of words. This is a very bold headline. So this article, again, is from 2020 because they had done like this round of interviews and then everything went silent. I think at that point they were hoping it was actually going to be done with the date they wanted. They said in this they were expecting a 2021 release, so they were a few years off. But it begins with saying 2016 was the year when it all went wrong. And there's also another interview I want to reference from PSU, but it says basically the same exact thing. They are hyper focusing on 2016. It says the ideas behind Dustborn's settings and characters were influenced by a series of political events that deeply affected us all, beginning in the summer of 2016 and continuing, well, today. Now, a lot did happen in 2016, but there's very clearly a few highlights here. First of all, Black Lives Matter broke into the political mainstream. You've got the first black president, Barack Obama, ending his final term. And then later in the year, in November, you had Trump, who won the presidential election. This is pure Trump derangement syndrome. Both of these articles / interviews hyper focus on 2016. This one says beginning of summer 2016 and continuing on, and this VG 24/7 article says 2016 was the year that it all went wrong. So you can tell right off the bat where these people's mindsets were at. They say enter then Dustborn. It debuted at the Future Game Show, and it is set in a fictionalized America gripped by fascism, divided by weaponized disinformation, and torn between the rival factions of oppressive Puritans and authoritarian justice. Draw your conclusion there. And it's kind of funny because the left is kind of both of those. They say in fictionalized America, yet this is clearly how they view America, like it's a place torn apart by disinformation and gripped by fascism. I mean, they clearly do not have anything good to say about America, and that is why they made this game. I mean, if you look through any really interviews, they talk about how they wanted to make a game that had a positive social impact without being preachy, even though this is preachy to the max. They talk about how, words can be weaponized themselves in real life, and how they really wanted to make a game that was going to be just impactful. That's really the key word that they use here. This is DEI to the max. They are proud of the messaging they're pushing, they're proud of their creation, and it represents everything that's wrong with identity politics and DEI narratives. They think that they're right, but they're literally making a satire of themselves. It's like a game that a non-leftist would make to parody the left, but they've done it to themselves. The plot is literally justice versus Puritans. The Puritans are like these technocrats. It's as if, one side is a cult, surrounding the technology they control, and they even mention if Google or Apple and Tesla came together, and then the other side started as a righteous and meaningful group that wanted justice for all people that went evil. It's like this is how they view America. They say it's in a fictionalized America, yet this is clearly how they view America, like a place torn apart by disinformation and gripped by fascism. Again, the irony here is that the accusation that this game throws out about the problems with this fictional America are the exact problems that in real life are being caused by the political viewpoints and actions of the people that are making this game, namely social justice warriors. And while they probably thought, wow, this is going to sell well, we're really pushing a message that people are going to agree with, it doesn't seem to be the case because, of course, this was posted to their official YouTube account, an IGN YouTube account, also the Xbox official account, because it, again, was shown at Gamescom, and it's currently sitting at 31,000 views, but it's got 633 likes to 4,000 dislikes, and the comments are destroying them. You've also got, the PlayStation account, 34,000 views, 787 likes to 4.3k dislikes. This is a game that I do not think is going to just magically fade into obscurity, because I think as we get closer to release and we see more teasers and trailers for it, it is going to get absolutely destroyed on social media like it already is. This game is just bottom of the barrel content. This isn't the type of title that people want to spend money on, that people want to buy. People are sick of being preached at, and this game is going to fail, and I think it is going to be absolutely hilarious. I will be keeping my eye on this for when they make more announcements, they show off more of the title, and seeing if there's really anything else I can roast when it comes to these developers. But for now, that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this, make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.